All right, here we go. La 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 la. Go with the main intro this week. Everything. Do a test one more time for me.
Mic check.
Mic check. Check the mic.
1, 2.
When I come through, it's what you don't like. Bars. Okay, cool. Here we go.
To make it real quick and simple, so I got to YouTube and some stuff, and I came across, I believe it's called Chicken and Rice.
Hey, yo! Thanks for sharing part of your day with us. This is the Chicken and Rice Podcast. I'm Dodge P, and I'm here with my best friend, my confidant, my right-hand woman, the most beautiful girl in the world, inside and out, my wife. Say hello, baby!
Well, hello, beautiful people, and welcome. I'm Rae, and I'm so excited to share our journey and everything in between with you guys. The best part about it, I get to do it with my husband and my very best friend. I really couldn't ask for anything better than that. I love you, babe. You the Now let's do this.
You, let's do this. Oh, I forgot. Wait a minute. You. That's how I open up nowadays. You, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel you're not supporting me already. We just started.
Okay.
Like we just started. Episode 25. Thanks for listening. Follow us on Instagram. I'm not gonna say Twitter because we don't really be tweeting. So follow us on Instagram at Chicken Rice Pod, and make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just search YouTube, the Chicken and Rice Podcast. We should pop up as the best looking Black and Asian couple on YouTube. Easy to find. As soon as you see us, you can't miss us. You can miss me, but you can't deny her. So do what you can to follow us, like and subscribe. We'd appreciate it. And support is free. You know what I mean? We're not asking for anything. Episode 25. Thanks. Oh, if you have any questions or comments, you can email us at chickenandricepod@gmail.com or send us a direct message on Instagram. Maybe I'll set up a Google Voice number. You could text, real-time questions or whatever. We're still working on that. I'm trying to knock out all the kinks, but you know me. I practice till it's perfect, and then even when it's perfect, I don't think it's good enough. So that's just the OCD.
Yes.
OCD in me. Hey, I got it right. So, week 25, 1 week back from Toronto. You saw what happened this week over the weekend? Drake dropped that freestyle. You heard it? Babe?
Huh?
You heard Drake's freestyle that he just dropped over the weekend.
Yeah.
That was the one that I was supposed to be on.
That wasn't.
Listen, I'm telling you, that was the one the 6 guy wanted me on. Couldn't get it touched me. I was supposed to be on that one. That was supposed to be fire.
If I roll my eyes any harder, it's going to fall off the back of my head.
You just had that expensive surgery to your eyes so you can see better. You don't want them falling out your head. But that second part of the verse where he switched to like a whole different song, that was supposed to be me on the first song. So I'm upset that I missed that opportunity because I had them fire bars. Listen, you don't even know. You don't.
I really don't.
You hear me.
Okay, so.
You hear me freestyle around the house. You know what's good.
Yeah.
You know what's good. So what's good? So what's good with you?
I have no complaints here.
No complaints this week?
No.
Good. So I want to get the shitty shit, the stuff, the bad stuff out the way. Well, not the bad stuff. Just the depressing stuff out the way first, and then we could get into some good stuff. So the bad stuff, I only have one thing bad to talk about this week, and that's the coronavirus. It's interesting that this virus is gaining so much steam because, I don't know why it's gaining so much steam. I guess because it's easier to catch than anything else. But I think since November, December, January, February, 4 months, 12,000 people have died from the flu, just the regular flu. So only 6 people died from the coronavirus in the United States so far.
I think it's just new.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's new and people are scared. When you're unfamiliar with something,
right?
It just seems a lot scarier than I think you should really feel about it because there were so many other new things that popped up over the years and people freaked out for a few months and then that was that. So I think this is going to be the same thing. I heard something about stocks are going to be going crazy and stuff because of a lot of things are manufactured in China.
Right.
And stuff like that. So, I mean, I really don't watch the news. It's I can't say it's depressing because all I watch is the ID channel, and that's pretty depressing too.
Right.
But I'm very interested in it. The news is a different type of depressing. It's a different type of like just like now what?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't really watch the news, even though I should.
Right.
I just don't. I don't have a desire to see it. I don't. People are like, oh, did you hear? No.
Yeah.
I did not because I don't watch the news.
Right. I used to watch the news every night, and then for a while it got so depressing, like you said, and they were talking about the same stuff over and over again that I don't even watch TV before I fall asleep anymore. Like I don't know when the last time the TV on the bedroom has been on. Probably 6-8 months ago.
It's been months. I used to leave it on the ID channel and fall asleep to that. People getting murdered and stuff. But I've been pretty good with just trying to go straight to bed.
Right.
Like literally, we don't use that TV.
Right. So yeah. What was I gonna say about the news? Yeah, and I just stopped watching it. So now, but I think every year we're faced with some new epidemic, pandemic, whatever you want to call it. So it was like first it was SARS, then it was what? The swine flu, bird flu, Zika
virus.
Now this. So I don't know if people are just more easily panicked or more easily scared nowadays. I mean, you got people walking around with the masks on, and they say the masks don't work to help. The masks don't prevent it.
To me, it just looks mixed.
It looks crazy, right?
It looks crazy. It looks like it's a movie or something. Like it's something airborne that mask isn't going to protect you from anything. It just makes you look crazy.
It does make you look crazy.
And every time I go to the airports, it's always my people.
It is your people. They be masked up.
That always have these damn masks on. And I'm just like, oh, why, guys? Like, y'all look crazy.
You know what? I was being a dickhead one day when I went to New York and I wore a mask one day just walking through New York. For no reason other than just to see people's reaction. And you know what?
Like, what is this dude doing?
You know what the scary part of it is? The scary part of it is that people just kind of ignored it and just like I wasn't wearing a mask. So it's almost like people wasn't paying attention. So
I always notice it, and it always kind of gives me like the heebies a little bit because it just seems so like there's something super infectious out there. Yeah. That's why you're wearing it. But in actuality, if it is, it is. Like if you're going to get it, you're going to get it. You can't dwell on what you might get and might not get or this and like, yo, while you're alive, enjoy it. Yep. Because you don't know what's going to happen.
I had like the cheapest one you could find, like go into Rite Aid and buy the fucking 3-pack and for $6 and be like, yeah, I'm protecting myself.
Yeah, like no,
not really.
That's definitely not.
So, what else happened? Oh, what other? No depressing news. That's all the depressing news I have for this week, which is good.
Okay, hold on. So I wrote my little notes myself.
Oh, you got some notes?
Oh, so this is something else that isn't in line with that, but it's just kind of like on the same kind of subject of it being kind of like depressing a little bit. So we'll get that out the way too. Okay. So how do you feel about, or what is your feelings about these safe houses that the city of Philadelphia is trying to provide or is providing whatever for drug users to do their thing?
Oh, is that what they're called? Safe houses?
I don't know what they're called. Okay. Some type of house, but whatever it is, what do you think about it and how do you feel about it?
So seems like again, TV comes to real life because they used to have this safe zone in The Wire where they took a part of the neighborhood. It was just one street actually, where if you were a drug user, you could go there, do your drugs, cops wouldn't mess with you. How do I feel about it? I have mixed feelings. If you're gonna funnel all the drug users to one area of the city or one, go for it. If you're condoning the use of drugs, of hard drugs, I'm not about that. I would prefer that money went into, I guess, treatment facilities as opposed to just having a zombie land hanging off the edge of Philadelphia somewhere. So mixed feelings because I know you can't stop people from doing what they want to do. But at the same time, if it's making the community any safer, I'm for that, I guess.
Okay. So my feelings about it, I think is absolutely ridiculous.
Okay.
So, and I think it's ridiculous because drugs are illegal anyway. Hard drugs, all that. So why are you enabling? Why are you making a place so that it's okay for them to do it or for them to be safe doing this? Drugs is nothing safe about it.
I agree.
So now I really don't watch stories on Instagram like that. That's not really, I don't know. For some reason, I just don't really click on it. Once in a blue, I'll click on a story. So I happened to click on my girlfriend's story who lives in South Philly, and she was looking out her window and recording because they were doing a protest because I guess the house is right where she is.
Yeah,
And I've never been in her place, and she had a shot of her kitchen and stuff, and her place is beautiful.
Right.
So it's like, but where do you decide to funnel these people? Where do you decide is the place where you're going to allow these avid drug users to continue doing this bullshit?
Right.
Like, I feel like drug users, hardcore, should be locked up because it's not safe. It's not safe for the kids to be out there. It's not safe for all the needles to be everywhere. It's not safe. I do feel really bad for the families because I don't feel bad for the drug users. I feel bad for their families because their families worry to death.
Right.
Their families, not wanting to, but they enable because they think they're helping with either giving money or giving this and giving. It's a really sad situation. I used to watch Intervention. And, I've had personal experiences myself with someone I cared about who had a problem. And it's the hardest thing because you hate to see them in that space, in that situation.
Right.
But at the same time, like I, at one point or at many points in time was an enabler by thinking that I was helping.
Right.
So that whole situation is really sad, but it's not the people that I feel sad for at this point. It's the families because the families have to see them disintegrate and turn as like zombies. They are really zombies. And there was a page on Instagram my friend told me about called Kensington Beach. I think they keep shutting it down. I don't know why, because it kind of just brings awareness to like what's really going on. And if I'm correct, Kensington is one of like the biggest like crackhead areas in damn near the whole country, which is crazy. And it's right down the street. You know what I mean? It's like right down the street. So it's a shame that the people have to live with these drug users all around them. And they're so used to it. They just walk by them like nothing.
It's
but
tough.
I condone, oh, well, if they're going to do it anyway, fine. I said, no, if you're going to do it anyway, then, you're just going to be where you're going to be. No, it's not going to be a zombie land that's going to be safe for them or okay for them because it shouldn't be done anyway. And I don't know. I have some very strong feelings about that because I hate drugs so much and I see what it does to people and families and stuff like that. So any type of condoning or enabling or anything, I'm totally against it. I
mean, I guess your energy could be spent, and this is kind of I don't have any close relations with anybody who was addicted to any drugs, so my feelings will be totally different than yours. So I guess you have to make a decision to either waste energy. I don't want to say waste. Use energy to fight the user to get clean, or just kind of wipe your hands with it and say, I'll be here when you get ready to get clean, because that's what has to happen. I assume you can't, there's no forcing a user, an alcoholic to stop drinking, stop doing drugs, stop smoking cigarettes. It has to get to a point where I think they have to be like, okay, enough is enough. I'm not sure that we want to spend, I don't know if jail is the right place to kick that habit either. I don't know. I just prefer, if I had little children and I knew that XYZ was where all the drugs were being used, we know not to go there. I don't know how I would react if that shit was outside my window though. I would be going crazy.
Listen, that's what I mean. Like, where do you decide to put this area where you'll have hundreds and thousands of people coming to use drugs?
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't understand it. I don't understand that way of thinking. I don't understand, just why it's a lot. Like, oh, they're going to do it anyway. Okay, well, don't funnel them all to, there's people that live here too.
So what if they funneled it to a part of the city that was just abandoned or desolate?
So it'll basically end up being a graveyard then.
Yeah.
Because I think it's crazy too. You know, my family members are cops and they deal with this.
Right.
And when they keep having to take the Narcan and after the 10th time, it's like, when is enough? Yeah. Like, would it be ending their suffering if they just OD and you don't keep bringing them back to life so they can OD tomorrow and for the next 20 times? It's a really sad situation that it has gotten to the point. Like, I really wonder, like, how do people get to that point? And it's really sad. It's really sad. And it's really, it's a shame, but I don't think that is the answer.
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is.
Right.
I really don't. Like you're saying, jail isn't, the place. But what is the place? I don't think the place is a safe place for them to keep doing it.
Yeah. I guess that's why I'm not a psychologist or shrink or anything like, cause I don't know. I don't have the answers. I don't see it enough. I'm not interacting with it enough to know what the answer is. If there's even an answer other than the addict or the user has to be ready to, flip the switch off themselves. That's what I think. I don't know. But anyway.
Okay. I just wanted to know what you thought about it because it's literally going on right now.
Speaking of shrinks and doctors, the last couple of weeks I had been noticing that I felt like I was leaning, to one side more than the other, and I was compensating like on camera not to look like I was leaning. So I finally went to a chiropractor today. So I went to a place called the Brunswick Health Center in New Brunswick, New Jersey, because I work in Princeton, so it was easier and faster for me to get an appointment up in New Brunswick than it would be in Philadelphia. Anyway, get to New Brunswick, get to the center, see the doc. I guess chiropractors are doctors. I don't know. Anyway, so he asked me what's wrong, and I'm like, yo, I feel like I'm leaning to the left all the time, blah, blah, blah. So he, how they run their hands down your back and checking your spine and shit. So he was like, yeah, your spine looks good. Then he, does something where he puts his hands on my waist, and he's like, walk forward, I guess to see if your hips are right. So my hips are right and everything. He was like, I really don't. He's like, there's a lot of tension in your upper back. But he was like, just stand there. So I'm just standing there straight, right? So I'm just standing there straight. And he's like, oh, I see what the problem is. Your head is leaning over. So I was like, what?
So it's just your head?
So he was like,
is your head too heavy, babe?
Yeah, all this fucking knowledge. So anyway, he was like, what's happening is, and he said, now I see it. What's happening is when I'm looking right at you, your head is leaned over, and what you're doing is you're dropping your shoulder to straighten out your head. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Okay. So how do you fix that?
Yeah. So what happened was, he put the heat pads on me, then he put the stem on for like 20 minutes, the pulses that go through muscles loosen me up, and then he just adjusted me. Like, and I've been adjusted before.
Did he crack your neck?
Yeah, both sides.
That is freaky when he does that, because
you had it. You only had it done. See, I had it done before.
No, I went to see him a few times, and I think he may have done it 3 or 4 times over the last few years. And
okay.
I get a little nervous every time because I feel like, yo, you can like make me handicap me.
You go in there thinking the worst. But,
you do.
But no, you do. I don't.
I do. It's freaky. It's just like, oh, so you hear it. And,
yeah. No. So I've done it. I had it done before, so I know what to expect. But this time, and like, it was like, I hate to make this, I don't know if just I do it or if other guys do it too. Like, you try to let out like just a little short poop and like a long one comes out. That's how my neck cracked. So it's usually like just real quick. My shit was like, and then, on both sides. And I was like, oh shit, I feel like I'm like an inch taller. And because I had done it before, I knew, familiar with the sound. But I was like, yo, that was like a lot of, cracking. He was like, yeah, it was a lot. So, I stuck around for about half hour afterwards just to make sure everything was good. And it felt 100 times better. So
okay.
I think I'm straight now. I won't know until I look, but I feel better. I guess just from, all the years of not going to get adjusted or, playing basketball or, bumping bodies on the court or whatever, I could have, something could have jammed up. But he was like, no, your head is leaning to the side. And what you're doing is you're dropping your shoulder to balance out your head. And I'm like, oh, that's some crazy shit. I never would have expected that. And when I look in the mirror, I didn't see that. Excuse me. When I looked in the mirror, I didn't see that. What I saw was my shoulder drop down. But I guess if my shoulder was dropped down, then my head would be straight.
Right.
But I never thought to straighten out my shoulder to see if my head was crooked. But it is what it is. I don't know. It was just the weirdest shit when he said it.
It is weird. I didn't think that.
I see it
That'd
now.
have been the last thing I thought.
Yeah.
Oh, your head is leaning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He stood me up and he walked like 10 feet away. And then he was like, oh, okay, I see it now. And I was like, what? He's like, oh, yeah, your head is leaning to the right. First he said, which way do you think you're leaning? And I said, I think I'm leaning left. And he was like, yeah. But it's not because you're leaning left. It's because your head is tilted right and you're compensating. And I was like, oh, okay. So he did what he did. And I was happy and I feel better now. Like I said, that was the Brunswick Health Center in New Brunswick, New Jersey. Great group of guys up there. I was in and out, no time at all. So now I'm going to go play basketball in the morning, get crunched up again. So I have to go see him again. It is what it is. What else happened? I'm going to does anybody else feel this way? So, because I feel like when this happens, I feel like a total failure in life. So Sunday morning, I go out and I'm going to get my coffee, which I do every Saturday and Sunday. Go outside and I have a flat tire. So I'm like, shit. I feel like when I get a flat tire, like I failed all drivers across the entire world when I get a flat tire. I might have had 2 flat tires like in my entire life. So I don't know. So I go get the coffee. I'm like, let me pump it up. So I pull the compressor out, pump it up. And I couldn't hear the air coming out because the engine was running. Shows you how smart I am. Go get coffee, hop out. I could hear the air like rushing out of my tire. So I come home, fucking put it up on the jacks, pop the little shit in the back to get the spare. And I don't have a spare tire. No spare tire with my car. My car, like I said, my cars will be paid off in like 2 months. And I said, as soon as I pay off my car, shit's going to start going wrong. And I got a flat tire and just learned today that I didn't have a spare tire in my trunk. That's nuts. So good thing we drive the same kind of car. So I just popped your trunk, grabbed your spare tire. Now I got the fucking donut on my shit looking like.
But my donut looks a little fresh though.
It's a fucking donut. Like,
yeah, but guess what? It don't look like the other donuts.
So what? Your donut look like a wheel, like it look like a custom wheel. It got that big ass yellow sticker on it. They know it's a donut. So yeah, I just feel like
it's not a bad looking donut. Though.
I feel like
it's
a
really
reject with a donut on, and it's not like I drive a Mercedes or anything, but still, it still feel like rejected from the Drivers Guild of
maybe
America.
Maybe it's a guy thing.
It's got to be a guy thing. I can't wait till my tire comes in.
I mean, obviously, when we lived in the old neighborhood, somebody took my hubcap. And I was upset because I just felt like, okay, maybe I know the feeling. Yeah. Because I was literally like so embarrassed just doing just one black tire. Talking about that,
that's what I feel like. Like, yo,
I feel like
my fucking.
I'm looking around like, don't look at my car.
Oh, my car.
It just looks like a reject car.
It feels like it got Down syndrome. Like it's crazy looking.
But they did that in Toronto. We didn't talk. We didn't.
Oh yeah.
We didn't bring that up when we were talking about Toronto last week. So I would say about a good 30% of the cars. I don't know. Maybe it's for the snow purposes or whatever. They don't have any hubcaps. They take it off. Yeah. So it's just a whole bunch of cars with like no hubcaps and no rims, no nothing. It's just a wheel, and it just looks a little strange.
So they're riding around with just the black wheel with no. I assume that they have a set of like either the factory tires or custom wheels, and they just take them off.
They just take them off, because they probably get a lot of really bad snow.
But I used to do
there,
that.
So that's what I'm saying. So yeah.
But I used to take the rims off and then put the factory back on. But shit, that I got lazy, so then I just stopped doing it, and then the rims got all corroded and stuff. So I could see why they might be saving money. Because shit, I feel weird. I can't even drive fast now because the shit has a speed limit. Like, don't go over 60 with this donut. So I couldn't order a tire fast enough. It'll be here tomorrow. I'll get put on Wednesday, then I'll be back to life. So
Then you put my donut back in my
put
car.
your donut back in your car. So while I was, oh my goodness. Guess, I'm a little embarrassed to say this. So when I was getting adjusted, like the room was divided by a divider, but it was, really thin so you could hear the other patient on the other side. Mm-hmm. So I guess she had got hit by a car. That's what I could take from the other chiropractor talking to her. So they were talking back and forth and, talking about she was just making a lot of noise. Like, why does all noise sound like sex noise? Anyway, she was making that kind of noise, like just all these different moans and groans, but I assume it was pain. And the doctor was like, something else is wrong with you. He was like, are all your woman parts working? And I'm like, why is he having this conversation so loud with this lady who's just like across the curtain? And so she was like, she tries to whisper, yeah, I haven't had sex in 26 years.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
26 years? Jeez.
I don't think anybody would lie about that, but fuck, 26 years? Yeah, I didn't look at her when I left either, or she may have been gone, but I didn't want to make eye contact with her because I feel like that's embarrassing.
26.
What would you do?
I wouldn't say it's embarrassing. It's just a little shocking.
Yeah.
That's all. I mean, there are people out there who sex isn't a thing for them. Like they could care less about it. They could do without it. Everyone's different. Everyone's wired totally different. So I don't know if that was by choice or if it wasn't and she just can't get, but there's people that will stick it in anything. So I can't imagine that she couldn't find anybody.
I don't know.
Or maybe she's really picky and she didn't. There was a woman before that waited for her husband or boyfriend or whatever in jail for like 20 years and didn't have any sex.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, now we had this conversation before and I asked you,
what
if I was locked up for 10 years, would you wait for me? You said yes. And you asked me and I said no.
Did I say yes?
You said yes. And I said no because
I might have. Okay.
I'm going to be totally honest with you. And I don't think that's fair. Depending on what it's for, like if you got locked up for some dumb shit and you got 10 years and you want me to wait for you?
Yes. Yes. Wait them 10 years. What's the issue?
There's an issue.
120 months is nothing.
There's an issue.
So
you're telling me that you can not have sex for 10 years. Is that what you're telling me right now? Be real with me.
What is sex? With another person?
Yes. No, with animals. What are you?
Fucking animal. Now you're getting really weird. What did this turn into? I know it's chicken and rice, but goddamn, animal. Listen, the love is real. Be real. The love is strong enough. I think I could do it.
10 years.
10 years. There's porn everywhere now.
I know there is, but I'm just saying it's like there's just the touch.
Well, so you would have to go be touched by someone else. Is that what you're saying to me?
I'm saying that depending on why you got locked up.
Right.
If you got locked up for killing somebody for saving my life, what you think? I'm just going to be like, whatever?
Yeah.
I'm just saying if you got locked up for some dumb stuff,
right,
and you expect me to wait 10 years for you, no. Or
okay, that's great. I'm listening.
Or okay, I'm just being honest because I don't think that. Right. I don't know if I cannot do anything for 10 years. Like, honestly. Let me ask you honestly.
Because this is great. This is a great conversation because we did have this, but it was so long ago.
Yeah.
So what if I was like, all right, go ahead. But when I come home, then we back. See, because I think women have sex for different. I think when women have sex, they get attached. Right.
We get attached.
Men can just knock down. Women, they get attached to, well, they seem to be attached. Get attached to the dude that they have sex
Not
with.
the chicks that I see nowadays. So, but anyway.
Right. So what I'm asking you is, what if I was like, all right, go ahead, but when I come home, we back on. Like, let's say we had 12 years in, right?
Right.
Fucking tomorrow, I get locked up for 10 years.
Okay.
And I say, go ahead, do your thing. I don't want to know nothing about it. Just don't be falling in love with no dudes. When I come home, we back. So that's different.
Yeah, that's different.
Because I'm giving you a 10-year pass, or 5 years on good time. I'm giving you a pass.
Right. So what do I think about that?
Right.
I think that I don't know if I can promise that. Only because, not that, I don't love you or that you don't mean the world to me.
Right.
But just being a human being.
No, I get it.
It's like, so let's say, because I ain't a hoe. So let's say it was 6 years and I didn't sleep with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say finally, even though you gave me that pass.
Right.
And I finally did.
Right.
I'm not going to sleep with like 20 different people. So for me not to get attached. So what if I sleep with this person and then it happens again and then it happens again? You understand what I'm saying?
Right. You just tell him I'm gonna bust his ass when I get home. That's all.
So I don't know. Like that's a toughie. That's a toughie because I don't know that if I got locked up for 10 years,
right,
that I would love, and anyone's mind who's locked up, they would love for their partner to wait for them. Sure. Obviously. But at the same time, I don't know if I would, if that would be really like
realistic.
You know what I mean? For me to be like, oh, wait for me these 10 or 12 years.
Right.
And not like,
I guess
you understand what I'm saying? Like, of course I would really try and I would really want to, and I wouldn't want to do anything to whatever, but human beings are human beings. We get lonely, we get sad, we get depressed, we get this, we get that. We feel lonely. Like it's a lot of different things that kind of like go into waiting a decade.
So here's what I think.
For somebody.
I think if either one of us was close, because I'm going to stop saying me locked up. I think if either one of us was close and we had visits and shit like that, it would make it harder, but it would make it easier. Yeah. So there's a ton of different factors, that come into play. Like if I was locked up on Street Road and you'd be seeing me every weekend for an hour, then it would be different than if I was in Idaho. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And you came once a year.
But wait, so what?
I would expect for you to get knocked down by somebody if I was in Idaho.
Now, can you answer this for me?
I can try.
When and where and how and what prisons do they allow conjugal visits?
I have no idea. That's something that would have to be researched once you got locked up. So
I was just wondering. I'm like, where do they allow that?
I don't even know if that's still a thing. Who knows? I don't know. Right. So it may be. I don't know if it's state or federal that allows that stuff, but I don't know.
Okay. I mean, this just came from the chick who hasn't had sex for 26 years. I mean, that's just insane.
That's insane.
That's insane. Like, no, I don't think that I could do.
Keep it tight.
If somebody offered me $1 million and say, if at the end of X amount of time, you haven't had sex, that's gone. I'll be like, just don't even. What? Just don't even.
You can't even wait on you, man. I thought I was a good dude.
You're a great person. Jeez. I know how
I'm
just human.
But I know how.
I'm not even gonna lie about it. I'm not. Right. I'm just gonna be real. I've always been real with you.
Right. No. I don't expect you to say something just to fucking make
just
it sound
to say
good.
It. Just to be like, oh, of course.
That's bullshit. We've never.
Like, of course, I would really try, but like.
Yeah, I feel like it would be hard, and I feel like the dude would be lucky as fuck. That's why I would come out and like I would probably kill him. Like I would go right back if I was like, yo, I'm home. We married. We would probably still be married. So I don't know what would happen, but like I'm coming for him. So either y'all could cut it off and we could get back to what we had. I have my muscles and shit to be nice. I'll be right. You know what I mean? Doing 10,000 push-ups a day. You'd be like, okay, all right. Yeah, you back. I don't know what I would do for a job, but but I'm saying yeah, that's tough. I don't even want to think about that.
Yeah, okay. All right, next. So I did have a couple. We're gonna keep this on a sex and relationship topic for a little bit. So dig it. Okay, so I have one of my good friends. Right. Him and his girlfriend broke up. And I just found this out today. Again, but this time I think it's for real. At this time I think it's done. Okay. So I think the next day or two would have been a year. But this was like right around after a couple days after Valentine's Day. Okay. So they got an argument, whatever, and then it was just like whatever. He's your age. Okay. She is in her 20s, but she has a child.
That's tough.
She's in nursing school.
Mid-20s or early 20s?
I think mid to late.
Okay, so we'll
I think mid to late, and she has a child, whatever. So okay. So he really hasn't been in long relationships. This is probably the longest relationship, about a year.
Right.
And, you know,
Really?
he's, I guess he just kind of like
spirit.
does what he wants to
Sure.
do, right? So he doesn't have children or anything. So he kind of wanted to get like your insight or whatever on this particular situation.
Okay, great.
So the question is, my question, and then this is why.
Okay.
Is it okay to be friends with someone after you guys break up? Okay, now hold that thought.
Okay.
So when they broke up, they talked about it. They were okay, decide, whatever. But she says, you know, but we can still be friends. Okay. So I had to type this because I didn't want to misrepresent or say something wrong that he didn't say. So I basically typed down what he said. So she, you know, texted him and
she broke up with him in a text.
No.
Oh, okay.
All right. I don't know how they broke up, but
I was about to say
she texted him. You know, she's basically saying, okay, we can still be friends though. So he's like, okay. So she texted him,
sure,
and said that she passed her test. You know, because they used to talk about this all the time.
Oh, her nursing test.
One of her tests or something like that. So,
right.
So then he asked her, like, as a friend, he says, you know, great, I'm really proud of you.
Right.
And then he texts her, well, what are you about to do now?
Right.
Like now that you passed it. He said she didn't text him like all day, didn't answer the question.
Right.
And then when she finally did, she kind of did with like an attitude and said, we have to set boundaries. You can't be asking me stuff like that. So he said, he just texted her, well, you don't have to worry about me ever doing that again.
Right.
And then she got really mad about that he said that. And I don't see anything wrong with what he said. Now I understand that things can get kind of like shaky reading text because you might read it a certain type of way that it might not have meant to be that way. Like
you put your own tone to
you put your own tone to it. You it kind of leaves everything open to the imagination of how it's said to you, like how it was delivered.
Correct.
So she could have thought he said something like, well, fine, then you ain't got to ever worry about that ever again. But he was basically saying, all right, then you don't got to worry about it again. I'm not going to ask you again. Right. Because he's not, he wasn't trying to be confrontational with her. Sure. But then what kind of conversation are you supposed to have? Or what boundaries when you said you could be friends? Yeah. And then you say, hey, as a friend, hey, listen, I passed my test. Because he was always very supportive. Like, I got you, blah, blah. Right. And then when he says, great, now what are you going to do next? And then you get mad about that. Mm-hmm. So what is he supposed to say after that to continue the conversation? I'm not really understanding.
I would love, is he a reader? Does he read books?
I don't think he's much of,
because I would love to give him my book, not my book, but the book that we read. I kind of read some stuff to you, and then because what I feel like is that first of all, to answer the question, it depends on the relationship. It depends on the person. Right. Me and you ever broke up? I could not. I don't think we could be friends.
Right. Well, you said you're not friends with any of your
and you know from experience that I'm not. But we're different. And
I am cool with basically all my exes. Not saying that I keep in touch or anything, but when I see them, there's no ill feelings, no old feelings, or anything like that. Right. Ill or old. See, because my one ex, I'm still very close with his mother, and if I see him, it's all love. Right. I give him a hug. It's not, it's not weird or anything like that. At least not to me on my part. And the other ones, if I ever bumped into them, they broke up with me. Right. It's like, okay, whatever. I'm happy now, so I don't feel any type of way about. What happened in the past. Right. Like if something happened and with, one of the guys or two of the guys, it was kind of like, yeah, that's a little jacked up. But at the same time, like it's old. It is what it is. We were younger. I don't care. I'm happy now. I don't have any ill feelings towards my exes. Right. I don't.
Yeah, I can't. Well, first part of the reason was because most of my exes I was never friends with anyway. Right. Which is, now that we've been together for so long, I find that totally fucking weird. Yeah. So when I talk to other dudes who are not friends with their chicks, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, it's like you speaking a foreign language to me. But me, I couldn't be friends with you if we broke up or got a divorce, because I would always be trying to get it back. You understand what I'm saying? Like, because it is so good. And I guess if we had another 30 years in this relationship, the foundation is so solid and so strong and was built so well that I would always be trying to get back to that foundation regardless of whatever. So I could never be friends with an ex. That's me.
Okay.
Him, I think what he should do, my opinion, is just razor blade, cut that shit off, boom.
That's what I said. Because I feel like, and me as a woman saying this, I feel like women expect people to read our goddamn minds.
Right.
And it's not what it is. So what exactly would the response have been in her mind that would have made her happy for him to say, great, I'm proud of you. And then that's it?
I know what I wanted to say.
Oh, go ahead.
So she probably texted him like, hey, I passed my test just out of habit.
Right.
Like, this is the first person I talk to when something good goes, when something goes well, when something goes bad. This is the first person I hit up. So maybe she hit him up just out of habit. And then after she hit him up and he responded, she sat on that shit all day and then was like, yo, we have to set boundaries. Because this is what it sounds like. What happened is she hit him up, boom, he hit her back with his, great guy response. And then she felt some kind of way and was like, I don't know if it was the right decision, or I'm just speculating, but this is what it sounds like.
Okay.
Like, maybe I made a mistake with breaking up with him, blah, blah, blah. 8 hours later, listen, dude, we got to set boundaries. That's what I think happened. Because if what happened the way that it did, that's what it sounds like. Like, oh, I hit him out of habit. He hit me back, or he hit me right back with, with the great guy he is response, like, congratulations, babe, or whatever. I'm not saying he used those terms, but I'm just saying, congratulations, I'm proud of you. What are you going to do now? And then that hit her like, fuck, I made maybe made the biggest mistake of my life. Let me just sit on it.
Right.
And then when she responded, it was like, yo, she may have been like, listen, we have to set boundaries. It could have been like super low voice, like soft.
I think they got into it again or something where he was just like, okay, like, I'm not arguing about this. You brought something up. I asked you a question and we're conversing. So I didn't think that was going to be a problem because you brought this up to me. So I'm kind of leaning more towards like, because I'm not a mind reader. It seems like when I hear stories that like my guy friends tell me, which I have a lot of guy friends, that like, I don't understand the woman's side. And me being a woman is kind of weird because we do weird shit. Like we expect a lot of things that we expect people to know exactly what we're thinking. And they don't. And then we get upset when they don't. So it's kind of like, if you don't say exactly what you mean or how you feel, how am I supposed to know? I'm not a mind reader.
Not everybody's a great communicator or even good communicator.
Right. But and I used to be that. I was mad when I was mad and I wasn't when I wasn't. And I couldn't say why or I would have it so clear in my mind how I would say it. And then when we try to talk, it would come out so messed up that I was like, this is not exactly... not even close to what I was trying to say. It came out so wrong, but in my mind, it was one other thing. And then when it came out, you were
thinking something. By the time it hit your mouth, it was something else.
Something totally different. Yeah. So I told him that I think at this point in time, it probably would be best if they just completely well,
he has to do that.
Just cut it off because you're not going to be arguing with me and we're not even together.
Over nothing.
If that's the case...
Here's what I guarantee you, though. I guarantee you as soon as he stopped responding and as soon as he stopped being there, she'll be right on his nuts.
That's what I said. I said, listen, and then when she doesn't hear anything from you, then it's going to be kind of like that little cat and mouse thing again.
That's exactly it's the cat string theory.
It's like, oh, well, you can't, whatever, and then fine, okay, I won't anymore. Well, you can't do that either. It's like, what?
No, yes, I can.
So it's like... I think that he really should If you're gonna be together, be together. If you're not, you're not, because there's still feelings there, and it's fresh. It's too fresh.
My opinion
also,
is this is the second time that it happened in like a close.
Yeah,
but a year is not that long.
It's not that long, but for a person who is not really like a long relationship type of person, that's a long time for them. But he's just like, at this point, I'm over it. So I know he cares about her. He really does, especially when there's a child involved and stuff like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's time to just to cut it.
My guy has to just ignore her. As hard as that is, even if you don't delete her number from your phone, just ignore it. Ignore her, and then that shit will drive her crazy. And if you decide to get back with her, the dynamic will be different. All but the prettiest of dudes have to have some type of game with them in order to keep a woman interested in them for a very long time, or just be a great guy. But what I'm saying is once a woman has you like, what's the word I want to use? Wobbling back and forth, you've lost. You're losing. Personally, I look at every interaction as a win-loss, and I try to be on the winning side and more than I'm on the losing side, but I also I'll accept draws. I'll accept some draws.
Accept some draws.
I'll accept a draw every once in a while. Okay. But when the chick has you bobbing back and forth, bro, you've lost. You've lost. You have to be like, you know what? I'm getting out of this ring. So find out if he reads. I love to lend him the book. Okay. And then the book may he may be doing some things from the book that he didn't know he was doing.
I'm sure he does, because he would tell me stories that she would say something, and then he'd be like, well, okay. Like, would you like, he's not too, he's your age. Right. So it's not like I'm not a little kid. I'm not like, I don't got time for is this or is that? Or it's like, all right, well, if this is how you feel, then that's how you feel. Like, what do you want me to do? Or you don't want me to call you? Guess what? I ain't gonna call you. Like, you want me to? I guess. So it's kind of like, it's not like a child. He's not a child.
But there's
like,
still ways to go about things that he may be doing or he may not be doing. But even if you take nothing from the book, it's a great read. Right. The book is a good read.
I'll ask him. I'll see him Wednesday.
I'll gladly loan him the book and be like, yo, read this. Even if you don't read it from front to back. Right. Read some of it and you'll be like, oh shit, this is the reason why this works. And I'll do this. Even if you don't put it in practice, just do some social experiments and find out and see how it works. Okay. You know what I mean? And and it may change. And it might and that might not be the chick that he needs in his life anyway. Right. The chick that he may need in his life, he may get from tips from the book. I don't know.
Because he was just like, nah, I'm just gonna go back to being a hoe. So I was like, okay.
But there's no value in that. At least in my opinion.
Yeah, but what at this point, if you don't see anybody worthy of having a relationship with, then it's like, you know.
Well, so I don't know. But my thing is, I don't know what he could have said different. I just know what I would do from this point on, because pussy is a dime a dozen, and the next girl may be better for you than this one is. And if it is, then you'll be wondering why you wasted a year of your life in this situation. Because I felt like that. Like after we linked up, I felt like, yo, I wasted so much time, but I didn't know. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know, and I guess I had to travel this road to get to you.
Okay, so I have one more thing. Okay, one more question.
One more question.
Let me see. How did I phrase
Then we
this?
out.
Then we out.
We out. Why you looking at it? Okay, go ahead.
Should you give
me personally?
In general.
Okay.
Okay. Well, and then I'm gonna ask you personally.
Oh shit.
Should you give every girl or guy that you sleep with A1 sex, A1D? Should you?
What's A1D? I'm old. A1D?
A1 Diz.
Oh, A1 dick.
Yes. I'm trying not to say the D word.
I'm sorry. I was totally it's the way you said it.
Or just save it for a serious partner, because
no, you got to drop that thing on everybody.
No, I literally just had a conversation with my boy today about that, and he said they all say you cannot Listen, because these chicks are crazy.
They are crazy, but that if you out there dropping it, why you gonna drop half dick on chicks? I'm just
a bust and keep them moving.
Yeah, I mean I've done that before too, but like listen,
because so my one really good friend was like,
how old is he? How old are these guys?
30, 47. and I think close to 50 also.
50. Okay.
So, and they literally, all three of them said the same thing. No.
Yeah.
And at first, they thought you had to because they didn't want to be talked about.
That's exactly why I say you got to drop it on them. At
But
least the first time.
when they go, no,
Okay.
because if you know that she's not going to be more than that,
Okay.
then you just got to bang and keep it moving, right? Because,
Okay.
so one of the stories was that his cousin, and you know his cousin.
Okay.
So his cousin, they were in the they were in a house, and he was watching Ike and Tina, and then he fell asleep,
Mm-hmm.
and then next thing you know, he sees whoosh, somebody rush through the door, and he's like, "Well, what in the world?"
Right.
And then his cousin was upstairs with another chick, and this was a chick that he was also kind of dealing with, and
She busts in the house.
busted in the house. They got in a crazy fight. I think he had the body slammer or something because she was
Ooh,
going crazy.
that's
and then
tough.
she took the scraper thing, like for the ice, and started scraping a big ass smiley face on his car. And then it was just all this crazy stuff because of the A1, and that's what she wanted to. So there's some crazy chicks out there, and chicks that won't. If you give them that and then they didn't have that before, or let's say if they were younger and you were older and you taught them some things and this and that, it's going to be a problem. So I think should. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a dude, but I kind of agree with them because if you're not a guy that sleeps with a ton of girls, I think it's okay.
Right.
Or if you're not, or if you do, but then you find somebody like more on the serious side, I highly doubt that those two girls would be in the same vicinity for her to be talking trash about how you are in bed. Like, oh, he sucks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think it's more just of a macho thing.
Okay.
Like you always, like, at least in my opinion, you want to leave the situation like, yo, I put in work. She can remember this. Like, that's how I feel. I feel like, yo,
you want to be like this?
Yeah, I want to be like, I want to be like that when it's all said and done. I get the situation where it's like, yo, this chick might be a nut, but I feel like that's the shit that you should be able to figure out, like, in the beginning, like, yo, is it gonna be like just this and that's over? Because what if it's like a chick you want to knock down again,
right?
And then your shit was trash. Like, you may not get that another opportunity. You blew it. So that's my take on it.
So you would A1 all the time?
I just think you got to try to A1 them every time. Like, yo, sauce every time.
He said you got to give him that C.
I guess.
That's C minus?
My thing, but you know, like, I want to do everything to the best of my ability.
So
that I can
that's
get it
just
fucking again. Yeah. Because y'all talk shit about dudes who can't fuck. Excuse me. Y'all talk, but you know what I'm saying? Women talk shit about dudes who are whack in bed. Right or wrong?
Oh my God. It seems like lifetimes ago that I've even had this conversation.
But what I'm saying is it's a conversation that you have. And sometimes y'all might get drunk in little girl pajama parties and then y'all start talking about the dude that was whack. I will never want a chick to think about me and be like, yeah, he was whack. That's why you give him A1 every time. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay.
I can't agree with you on that. So
okay.
Other than that, listen, I wish I could. I'm pretty agreeable now at my old age, but on this one, I have to disagree totally.
You gotta be like,
you got to give yourself the fucking bravo.
But like this, but like,
that. Yeah,
she's asleep.
Yep,
cool.
She's asleep. I'm gonna fucking go eat, and then I'm gonna put my clothes on. I'm out. You can keep the socks, whatever it is. But yeah, I got to give him A1. So
okay,
it is what
I'm
it is.
just curious.
Yeah, so let him know I'm willing to give the book. Let him loan him the book.
Okay.
And my other guys, I gotta talk to them privately because I think I know exactly who you're talking about. So it is what it is. It was good.
All right. That shit is funny. Used to do that with me.